Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Lunchtime Live Community Update for today, Thursday, October 10th. My name is Paul Enderle. I am the proud superintendent of Oaklawn Hometown School District 123, checking in today to provide our community with some recent updates of the great things happening here in School District 123. We want to begin by reminding everyone that this year is an anniversary year. For us in School District 123, we are celebrating 123 years in School District 123, and we're using this logo here to just really highlight three words that we think are really important about this very special anniversary, and that's tradition, pride, and accomplishment. We're going to be highlighting those things and some of the great things we do in the district moving forward throughout the year to celebrate this important anniversary for us. One such bit of information, we wanted to share just some did you know things about School District 123. But back in 1953, School District 123 welcomed Hometown School with a major dedication event. This is actually a copy of the program that was offered to anyone who attended that opening day kickoff event, dated back to November 8th, 1953. It's really great to be able to pull some of this historical information from our beloved school system and to really see how things grew and progressed through District 123. Back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, our school community saw a boom of enrollment. That's when a lot of our subdivisions, a lot of our homes here in Oaklawn and Hometown were built. And at one point, School District 123 had 11 attendance centers before the enrollment settled down in the 80s and 90s, and it kind of settled around the 3,000, 3,500 number that we see today. But this is an example, a historical example of the Hometown School dedication program from 1953. At that point, the superintendent here in District 123 was James Hannum, who our Hannum Elementary School is named after. We also have a great picture here of McGugin Junior High School that was originally named Roy Clark Elementary, but in 1985, McGugin opened up with an enrollment of about 440 7th and 8th graders. And if you didn't know that Douglas McGugin, the mascot from McGugin Junior High, were the Mustangs, and then we use that mascot for Oaklawn Hometown Middle School now. So a little bit of history here. As you know, the McGugin building right now stands, and we do rent that part of that building to the Oaklawn Community Senior Center, and then the east side of that building to the Advocate Aurora Health EMT Training Center. And we also have a very thriving community garden that rests just to the north of the McGugin property behind it. That is really a joint tri-partnership together with the Village of Oaklawn and our Oaklawn Park District. So just some facts about some of the buildings and some of the rich tradition we hold dear here in School District 123. But what we want to update the community on today are just a few items here. We want to talk a little bit about our 100% goal and show some pictures of the things happening inside our schools that help us lead to ensure that 100% of our students grow in the areas of mathematics and reading here in District 123. We're going to talk about our ongoing strategic planning process. Had a big committee meeting last night and some great outgrowth from that meeting. We want to give the community a report out from our school safety first responders meeting that was held a few weeks ago. Give some information about upcoming fall family conferences that'll be taking place next week in District 123, along with some updates on Unity Week, our high school fair, and some outcomes from our 6K Run for Literacy that took place last weekend. And of course, leave time at the conclusion of this update for any questions that anyone has live that they would like to voice from our community. But let's jump right into it. I think as many of you know, we have a 100% goal here in School District 123. We expect all of our students to grow each and every day and to really grow in a fashion, across the the scope of all 176 days, but we really are targeting this year the achievement of our students in reading and mathematics, and are really going to create a very concentrated and focused effort on making sure that our students meet their individualized growth targets in the areas of reading and mathematics. We already took the fall MAP assessment. In January, we'll take a winter assessment, and in May, a spring assessment. And we're going to be tracking our students' progress on those 3 key assessments throughout the year. But some of the things that we do in the district that lead to that goal, we want to highlight as well. And we're going to start with our newest attendance center here at our Early Learning Center. And you see, last week, our preschool students and staff celebrated World Smile Day. And here's just a nice picture of some of our staff members and students spreading kindness and giving someone a smile. We believe in the value of inclusivity here in District 123. We want to make sure that everyone in our school system feels like they belong at each of our schools. And part of that is by simply just greeting people and welcoming people with a smile each and every day. So some really positive outcomes that we're seeing from our newest attendance center here in District 123, our Early Learning Center. So we're really proud of the efforts of our students and staff in sharing that kindness by celebrating World Smile Day. We also, this week, we are celebrating Fire Safety Day. And here's a great example of some students at Covington Elementary School doing some things to focus on fire safety. Big thank you to our students and staff who do great work in partnering with our fire departments, both in Oak Lawn and Hometown, to make sure that our students are aware and informed about fire safety. And we have a couple of students here who are just simply sharing thank you cards to our firefighters for the work they do in partnering with us and connecting with our school communities and making our communities safe. When we think about our 100% goal, and that goal being centered in reading and mathematics achievement, you may not think of things like feeling welcoming, like celebrating World Smile Day, or focusing on safety don't really matter when it comes to reading or math, but they matter greatly, because we know that when students enter schools and staff and families enter schools where they feel welcome, they feel a sense of belonging, and they feel safe, they're going to be able to achieve at higher levels. So all of these efforts we do contribute to the overall growth of our students. And you can see here how we go about helping educate the whole child here in School District 123. Here's another great example of whole child education at Hannum Elementary School. And here is a great picture of a club that Hannum School offers called the Healthy Active Kids Club. And they're doing some planting using a brand new planting bed that they have in the courtyard over at Hannum. And what these students are doing is they're doing some scientific experiments, studying environmental science, and they're comparing and contrasting seeds they're growing that are being grown in a bed, a gardening bed outside, and they're comparing the growth of those seeds to some seeds that they are growing in hydroponic growing kits inside the school. So we have some really good examples of, again, some hands-on learning happening over at Hannum Elementary School with some of our students there. A picture here of some great things happening at Hometown Elementary School, where we see some of our youngest students here ending the day by playing a mathematics game. We do leverage game-based learning here in District 123 at all of our levels, and that does not mean video games. That means games like rolling dice and using manipulatives and playing board games to really practice skills in reading and writing and in mathematics. And here's a great example of that gamification happening with some of our young learners over at Hometown Elementary School. Some more experiential learning. We see some of our Colmar students here, our second graders at Colmar, who recently went to a field trip to Morton Arboretum. And you can see that they're taking a look at some of the different trees and plants out in in the Arboretum. Again, a way we take learning outside of the four walls of our classroom and give kids true learning experiences. We're very, very fortunate to have a really great partnership with Morton Arboretum, and we send our students and staff there pretty regularly to, again, get a taste of some experiential learning. At Swart Elementary School, last Friday, some of our first graders ended a reading unit on fables. And as a way of celebrating and having a accumulating event, our first graders had a day of fun and excitement, and the teachers did a wonderful job of celebrating what they learned using kind of a stations-based, kind of a play-based experience for our students to kind of wrap up that learning in Unit 1 of our reading curriculum on fables. So again, you see some elements of active learning that lead to hopefully higher levels of growth and attainment for our young learners. And our last all-in gold picture here is actually a picture from Richards High School, where currently our Oaklawn Hometown Band and Music Program partnered together with Richards High School, and they helped perform with the Richards High School Marching Band at their homecoming football game. So here's a great picture of that collaboration that took place between Oaklawn Hometown Middle School and Richards High School at their homecoming football game, where our bands came together and marched and played music together, which is, again, a wonderful way that we connect the work that we do at our middle school with some of our partnering high schools. So great job to our music students. Getting into more information about our update today, I wanted to just again highlight and inform the community that we are undergoing a strategic planning process. Our current strategic plan expires in December, and we are very busy this fall engaging the community, eliciting feedback and input, and now getting to work on developing a new long-term vision, a new North Star for District 123 that will last us for the next 5 years. We're looking at this new strategic planning process to do some long-term planning that will carry our district through into the year 2030. Here is just a brief overview of the process and timeline that we're looking at. We really are looking at a process that involves 4 key phases: a preparation phase, an engagement phase, a focus phase, and an implementation phase. So right now, this past spring, summer, and early fall, we focused on preparing, where we designed the process, we developed a survey, we worked on making sure that we reached out to our community and started informing our community of the process. This August and September, we're working on an engagement process, and currently we're really proud to report out that over 700 members of the Oaklawn Hometown School community participated in this engagement process, whether they sat down and did individual interviews, took part in the 15 or 16 focus groups that we offered throughout the district, and also took our community survey to provide our school system and our strategic planning committee feedback and input on priorities and areas where they feel the district should really be focusing on and prioritizing. So we've been spending a lot of time getting input and getting feedback and engaging our community. And now we've assembled a group of about 25 community members who are working together to review that information, to analyze that information, and now to kind of be building out the elements and the goals that will exist in our new updated strategic plan. So now we've moved into from preparation and engagement to our focus phase. And we actually we're fresh off a meeting late last night. We engaged our committee and we did a thorough review of an executive summary that really shared the feedback from the focus groups, the interviews, and the survey, to hopefully provide that committee with a strong sense of priority as we start building out that plan. So the next goal is to really use that data to start building out the the ins and outs of the plan, the details of the plan, and then ultimately, as we move into the implementation stages, which won't take place until this winter and this spring, start implementing that new plan in District 123. Just to let the group know and let the community know, everyone's got a role in this. We have the community of the at large, which, could be faculty, staff, parents, families, community members, and students. We have our Board of Education that has set a direction and a vision for the district regarding this process. We are working with Hazard Young and Atia, or HYA, as a partner in helping us facilitate this process in a very objective way, and engaging a variety of different voices. We have that group of about 25 people that are working really intensely as a committee, and then the work of our administration will be to take this information and make it operational and make sure that the voice and the priorities set by this process become active in the district over the next 5 years. Here are some various elements of our process. That one of the things our committee worked on really heavily last night is this idea of a portrait of a graduate. We want to use the priorities from our community to better define the outcome of what we want a District 123 student to graduate our system being able to know, being able to do, some of the habits and attributes that we envision graduates moving forward with holding to hopefully foster their future success as they move on to high school. So a lot of the work from our committee really centered on that portrait of a graduate model last night. Once we get that portrait concept defined, our next step would be to define the goals of the plan, which will be the key priorities that we want to get at. Our current strategic plan has 4 large-scale goals or pillars that we want to define. Once we define and get a good grasp over those goals, we're going to take a look at objectives or outcomes within each goal that we want to attain. And then the administration has that job of taking those objectives and building out strategies that we will implement over the next 3 to 5 years to see these goals out. So it's a pretty simple process, but there's a lot involved when it comes down to some of the specific details. But again, the planning committee is a picture of our committee that engaged in some really serious work last night. And one of the things our committee looked at was this, I believe, over 70 pages of an executive summary of the feedback and the environmental scan of our current school system. And one of the goals of the planning committee last night was to start planning these attributes and these characteristics of what we want to see in a District 123 graduate, and to develop that portrait view of what a future graduate may look like. And the good news is that group is really working hard to honor the voice of our community and to take in all that feedback and to try to really analyze it and synthesize it in something that we could operationalize here in District 123. This is just a glimpse of some of the things that our committee was working on last night, trying to define in a very simple way what are those attributes, those characteristics of a District 123 graduate. And you see things through the session that our community has given us. Things like, we want our students to be emotionally intelligent. We want them to be critical thinkers and problem solvers. We want our students to have a level of adaptability, creativity, curiosity. We want our students to be strong digital citizens. We want them to be inclusive. We want them to value the diversity of our community. Many things, and one of the goals of this committee is to really take this list and make it something that is simple and easy for us to focus on over the next 5 years. So we're really excited about the portrait of the graduate as being kind of like our first layer that we want to expose the community to through the strategic plan, and we're very busy working on that in the present moment. So more to come as we move forward. But the committee has meetings. It has about 3 or 4 more meetings set up over the next month where we're going to be putting our heads down, rolling our sleeves up, and working collaboratively to develop a really strong long-term plan for the future of District 123. Speaking of planning, we had a very effective first responders meeting back on September 24th. And that first responders meeting is an annual meeting where we collaborate together with our local school systems. We had members of District 122, 123, 229, 125 present there at our meeting. We had almost every one of our parochial school partners in the local Oak Lawn and hometown community present. We had members of local law enforcement, fire. We had key members of Advocate Hospital also present at that meeting. We use an essential question format to foster collaboration. Some of the key highlights that we discussed at that meeting were trying to talk and communicate more in common language, especially when it comes down to managing crisis that may happen in our local community, and to make sure that the language we use between agencies is common, because we know how we manage crisis and emergency situations in the first 20 minutes matter. And the more we understand each other, the more we communicate using a common, easy, clear language, the more efficient we can manage these potential emergencies and make these responses as safe as they can be for our students and staff involved. So we talked a lot about common language. We talked a lot about common protocol. We talked a lot about how we exercise and how we drill and prepare our school communities when it comes to these crisis situations. We also, one of the outcomes of this meeting was we want to meet more regularly with key members of our first responders to talk through these things. We also want to meet more regularly with our parochial partners to make sure that we are all training similarly and carrying out emergency protocols in a similar fashion. So a lot of very positive things come out of that annual first responders meeting. And you could tell we had over 50 people attend that, and people who really care about our community and really want to see our students and our schools stay safe. As we move forward, next week at this time, we're going to be starting our fall family conferences, and I hope all of our families have had a chance to register for them. Currently about 60% of our families have registered for a fall conference, but we need more. We need to make sure that people are attending our conferences and that those attendance numbers continue to thrive. We have fall family conferences starting next Thursday on October 17th, as well as the 18th. Families can sign up for either an in-person conference or a conference over the phone. All of those conferences can be done in Skyward Family Access presently, and they're open through October 14th. So if you haven't scheduled a conference yet, you have until Monday the 14th to do so. So please get online, get into Skyward, and schedule a conference. If you need help doing that, please call any of our offices. You can call our school offices, you can call our district office. We will lead you to the right people to walk you through that registration process. As a reminder, all of our conferences are scheduled in a student-led fashion. We do that purposely because we want to make sure that all of our conferences are very personalized. We only have about 15 or 20 minutes per conference, so we really want to maximize that time. And we want to make it personalized to make sure that as educators, we have a window into each student's unique experience. We also believe that our families, schools, and kids have to work together in a uniform fashion. And when we work together, great outcomes are going to come from that. And to ensure that students here in District 123 have agency over their learning, that they own their learning. And we feel like when they could be part of that conference and speak to their areas of strength and areas of improvement, and they could speak to their goals, that by being able to do that gives them advocacy and ownership in the process and can help catapult learning in a strong way. And that it really defines our collective role here in School District 123. We need our kids here. We need attendance rates to be high. We need to make sure that parents, families, and educators sit down and intentionally talk about teaching and learning each year. And we build in these 2 times in the fall and in the spring, specifically to get up that level of personalization. So that's some of the reasons why we like using this student-led conference format. And just so you know, some details, about 10 minutes, so it goes quick, so we need to maximize our time. Scheduled in Skyward, and pretty most part for both elementary and middle schools, we make sure that a homeroom or an advisory teacher is the primary key contact for our kids, but we also make sure that Encore staff and specialists get time and attention too. So if our families want to schedule a conference with an art teacher, a PE teacher, a library teacher, they have access to do that as well. So we hope to see as many families as possible. Typically, annually, we get about 80 to 90% of our families to engage in this process, and we want 100%. We want everyone there. The more we could work together and partner between our homes and our schools, the better outcomes yield for our students. So we hope to see our families at conferences next week. Another exciting thing happening next week with the holiday weekend, the federal holiday coming up on Monday. We only really have, and with family conferences next Friday, we only have about 3 days next week. So we have a very, very abbreviated week. But we're going to be focusing that week of October 15th, 16th, and 17th on our Unity Week. We do this each and every year to really focus and encourage our students to be kind, to be accepting, and to really rally against stopping bullying here, not only in District 123, but globally. So we have a few days and some special events scheduled for next week. On Tuesday, we're asking our students to support each other by wearing spirit wear. So we encourage all of our students to come to school on Tuesday in their school spirit wear. On Wednesday, we're going to be wearing orange as much as possible to really pledge to be bully free. And on Thursday, we are going to want to foster this idea of unity and team by wearing our favorite sports and athletic gear and shirts and jerseys in school. So we have a full week of activities planned to celebrate unity across District 123. So that's something coming next week along with our family conferences. We wanted to highlight something happening in the future here in District 123, but on October 24th, in about 2 weeks, our middle school will be having their high school fair. And we really open our gymnasium up from 6 to 8 p.m. to our district families. Families, you do not have to have middle schoolers to be a part of this event. This is an open house event where we invite our entire families into learning a little bit more about that next level of education, about options we have here in our community for high school. We have various public and private opportunities here in District 123 that our families can gain access to. And typically we have representatives from all of our high schools there willing to talk with all of our families. So I highly encourage all of our families to stop by. You can come by for 5 minutes, you can stay for 2 hours, but you'll have access to talk to key representatives of all of our local high schools to really hear about the opportunities that we have for secondary education in our local community. So just want to make sure that this event is, make sure everyone knows that this event is open to everyone here in District 123. I also want to report out, we had a very, very positive 6K walk for literacy last Saturday at Oaklawn Hometown Middle School. We had over 150 of our students and our families participate, and they were either able to walk, run, jog, whatever they were comfortable with, but you could see we had a great turnout and a lot of fun. We had a beautiful day, and we did partner together with the Terry A. Trent Foundation to help raise money to help bring literacy in libraries to small communities in Zimbabwe, Africa. And it was a wonderful foundation, a wonderful event, and in the end, our school community raised over $3,000 for the Terry Trent Foundation. It really helped our students become more globally aware of issues that impact kids their age from overseas. And it really helps our students to develop a more global perspective and a solutions-based perspective on how they could have impact on an issue that globally affects many children their age. And we're really proud of the efforts of our entire school community for coming out and supporting that effort and just having a great day, getting some exercise and going outside. I also want to thank our members of our Village of Oak Lawn Streets and Sanitation Department that helped really make that path, that 6K path that our students ran or walked safe. So to our law enforcement officials, to our Village of Oak Lawn, thank you for partnering together with us to really have a great event and continue that annual tradition regarding our 6K event. As always, we want our school community to stay connected. We need kids in seats every day. We need our families connected and engaged with our school system. And there's many ways you could do that. You could do that by attending any of these wonderful extracurricular events and activities that we have here in District 123. By joining one of our amazing parent organizations, our PTAs, PTOs, our PTSA at the middle school, our music boosters. We have great family organizations that we can get in contact with, and we can get you in contact with if you're interested. You could also call us. We have an open door philosophy here in District 123. Come visit us, give us a call, shoot us an email if you have any questions or concerns. But we want our families, we want our community to stay connected as much as possible. Great schools are always synonymous with great communities. And we have a great community here in Oak Lawn and hometown, and we want our schools to be able to feed that as well. But at this point, I want to open the door to any questions that we might have on our Facebook Live format. And right now, we don't have any questions. But again, this is only one medium of communication. We like to do this every once in a while to get fresh information out to our community. If you do have questions, never hesitate to reach out. But that being said, that's going to wrap up our community update for today, October 10th. I want to wish all of our families and students a safe and relaxing upcoming 3-day weekend, and we hope to see all of our students and families at family conferences next week. Take care, everyone.